You guys just give me a second here. There's a couple buttons I need to push before we get going. Get my mouse to move. Hold on. Yes, this is Christine Demorier, and we are almost rolling here. I think I've got all the things I need to do. There we go. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Thru line. I'm your host, Christine Demorier, and today's date is the 30th of March. We are going to be covering the personal year cycles for April, which is really kind of exciting and absolutely nutty that we're here right now. I can't believe we're in the second quarter of the year already, you guys. So for those of you who don't know anything about numerology, there are a ton of videos that I have here on my live stream or on my YouTube channel, and you can just go back and figure out what your personal year cycle is, what personal year you're in currently right now. Good morning, Serena. I'm so glad you're here. Yay. Okay. Serena's a producer over at 12 Radio. Hi, everyone at 12 Radio. I know I'm streaming over there as well. You guys, welcome and come over to my YouTube channel and join in the chat room and ask your questions. I have a couple of updates and announcements before we start rolling on this show. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I am building that base, as most of you know that this is how we go about this on YouTube, you guys, okay? So I hope everybody is doing okay. This is our Holy Week that we are moving into, and it's the birthing of the second cycle of the year itself, the second quarter, and this is when we really kind of get some breath and some movement in our lives and what's going on with the numerology itself, with our personal year. And yes, and I know this hour is just going to fly. So, quick update. I have put in the chat room the link to the remote healing sessions that I hold every single Monday night. It's funny, I was listening to Mark Hussin's show. He is a phenomenal astrologer and also my boss and good friend. And he was talking about a fascinating topic, which I can't even touch because I'm not an astrologer. In another life, I will, that is probably something that I would dedicate myself to. But I have Jupiter in Gemini in my 10th house. And I just started to laugh because I have these things that I do. And I do a lot of different things. It's like, and I'm passionate about a lot of different things. One is energy work. One is, helping people through a Kundalini energy transmission. It's one of the things I do. I've studied that deeply, and I hold forums like that all the time. And I'm also a pianist and a composer, and I'm also a numerologist, and I'm also an intuitive seer, psychic, clairvoyant. All these things. It's like if you would just pick one, Chris. But you see, I can't because I love them all. I love all of them. So, you guys, I work as a remote healer. And I have been doing this for groups for a long time. And so every Monday night, it will be through 12academy.com. And you just sign up. It's $20. So it's a half hour. And I will address physical, emotional, mental, whatever comes into the room that is manifesting itself in your life. And I promise you, you're going to feel a lot better at the end of it. And when we feel better and we do better, and people will call me for, helping them get through surgeries and or healing from injuries, and it just speeds things up substantially. Okay, so that's tonight. Links here, right here in the room. And we'll just keep going every single Monday night. That's what I'm doing. So let's talk about numerology. I'm just going to quickly say hi to you guys who have come into the chat room. Denise, hi, my dear. I'm glad you're here. And Sherry, hi. Welcome. Pamela's here. Hi, sweetie. Jean, you're here. Blessings to all. And Claire is here. Hey, hey, baby. Okay, you guys. So questions or comments? Let's go into, you ready? 3, 2, 1. We got to launch. The personal year cycles. If you don't know what your personal year number is, probably somebody in the chat room is going to be able to help you. Let's just start with the one personal year. Now, we are in the second quarter. This is for all the personal years. This first quarter that we just got through, January, February, and March, is going to repeat itself at the end of this year. You've heard me talk about that. What that means is whatever you locked and loaded these 3 months probably is going to manifest boots on the ground, real time in life, October, November, and December. Okay, so this middle month here, these middle months, these middle 6 months, now they take on a different tone. And each quarter has its own build. So April is 4, and May is a 5, and June is a 6. That coupling is dictating really interesting movement in all of our lives. And for each personal year, it's going to drop in differently than another personal year. You can't skip over to another personal year highway. All right. Every single time that I hit, and we all hit, a one personal year, or a one global year, we've got a lineup to our personal year. And that is in repetition and never changes. Yeah. So the one global year for me, I am always going to be in my own personal 7 personal year. All right. And so this is a consistent thing, and that has specific meaning to each personal year journeyer. And I promise you guys, I need to do a show on that. And I think I will just do a side video probably today to cover that, because it's really important. Okay, Jean, hi. Yeah, the sum of your birthday is 6. Now you just have to add your day and your month, right? So the math here. The day and the month of your birth, add them together until you get a single digit. And then you have to keep adding until you get a single digit, right? And then you add it to the current calendar year broken down to a single digit, which is 1. So whatever your day month is, broken to a single digit, add it to the calendar year. That is your personal year number. If you're not following me on social, you guys, I've got a video that I just popped up over on my Instagram account, and explaining how to figure out your personal year cycles. Okay, let's go. One personal year. You guys, this month for you, 1 + 4 is 5. 5 is all about change. And that change sits around opportunities, new people, new experiences. A lot of times with a 5 energy there, this is your bogey and your target, right? For ones, Your bogey and your target is 5. 5 means change. That might look like an opportunity to move or to start a new job or to have a new experience somewhere in your life, new people, new experiences, new dynamics. Lots of times in a 5, um, the way that I lean into these numbers, it's like, yes, there's predictive. I can say that I can guarantee you will have in one way, shape, or form these things coming to your door. And then you have an opportunity to decide whether or not you want to lean into it or not, say yes to it or not, right? The thing for me is that if I know I'm sitting in a 5, then I'm front loading 2 things: being open to new people and new experiences, offers that come out of the blue. And sometimes it has a lot to do with our boots on the ground, life, how we're making our money, and where we're living and what we're doing inside of it, and then who we're doing it inside of it with. Okay. I will be leaning in. And then the other thing I'm going to be babysitting is making sure that I have a pretty hard lockdown on my tongue and minding myself with what I say, because the 5 can be really rolling stone-ish and a little careless and can make messes. So while there are incredible opportunities that come with a 5 one-pinners, just keep your intention around not reacting too quickly, not jumping to conclusions, not quick to anger or quick to judge or quick to do these things, because 5, when the 5 is there, it's a great opportunity to embrace change. And we get excited about that because sometimes the routine and the repetition is completely overwhelming, right? So if you have the basics, guys, because I got to move forward, if you have an opportunity to live somewhere else, to think about moving, or if you have an opportunity to expand your business, or to a brand new job comes up to your door, you have an opportunity to change, and that change is going to be supported. If new people come into your life, lean in with curiosity, because they're bringing in new energy into your world. If somebody is asking you to do have a new experience, to try something new, to collaborate with them on this idea, lean in and be curious, because this is what's going to come to your door, one-pinners, all right? And when you think about the 1 and the 5 coupling, and we're just starting the second quarter, and note that next month we're going into a 5. So you will have this wind at your back for what is it that you want to switch up the name of the game, right? And have in your life, what is it that is bouncing off of what you've laid down in January, February, and March. All right. All right. Sarah, you're saying, if I'm correct, then you want to add your personal year number to this year's number. So Pamela, yeah, you're helping Pamela. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So 2 personal year, you guys, you're in this 4-month of stability. I didn't even cover that. I know. Stability, structure, systems, orders. We have to have a program and a protocol that's sitting in this 4 frequency in April. And it is making sure that the foundational piece is there for all of us. Yeah. The bogey and the target for for 2 is 6. Six energy, you guys, this is the leader inside of a community. This is going to involve helping people, helping your community. Lots of times there are illnesses that are that other people in your life, your family of choice, and there is, or surgeries, and so there is this pull to be and ask to be there to help, to support. And in April, this is your bogey and your target, how you're leaning into that. If you know that this is a month of service, which it is, 6 energy is about seeing the greater vision for a community. And that always is going to include how you lead inside of that community, which looks like being of service to other people in order to help them help themselves, right? So for the 2 pinners, you're already in a 2 personal experience for your year, and that's the art of diplomacy, and that is the art of one-to-one communication. Well, now you're taking it in April to the greater community and being of service to the greater community. All right. The flip side of that, the shadow side, sits around feeling like a doormat, and that people don't really appreciate you or value what you are giving them. And that's what you need to babysit this, you guys. This is your bogey for the month itself. This is a sprint run that's a part of the entire year's experience. You can do it, yeah. You might not. And guess what? Inside of your giving of your time, your energy, your resources, whatever it is that is being asked of you, you also can put boundaries around that. By the way, all of these numbers, they come with boundaries. So good. And where you can say, okay, that's enough, and now I'm going to step back. Ultimately, through this process too, 6 is a great teacher. And so if you're teaching somebody else something that you're highly knowledgeable inside of, keep in mind that you're teaching them in order for them to be able to do it for themselves, which is amazing, right? Yeah. 6 is a number that is around being a leader inside of a community. And that is your bogey and your target this month. Family needs help. I'll tell you, it's consistent across the board. You also, if I talk about it in the business sense, this is a community-based, again, demographic that you're going to want to nurture, of having, coming together with the people that you do work with, and helping where help is needed, and also working collaboratively together in order to build something in this 4 frequency of April that is sustaining for everybody involved. And there's something here that's collectively moving forward. You are a leader, and so lead. This is your leadership number. And it's community, and it's being of service, and it's showing up in a way that says, I love you and I'm here for you, or I support you and I'm here for you. How can I help? All right. So when you think about the 2-4 coupling, it makes a lot of sense. You're focusing on relationship. Now you're going from 1 to 1, and you're bringing in the group. Next month, for all the pins, we're all moving into a 5 frequency. And so that's a lot of movement and a lot of change. I'm always going to be talking about intentionality behind any any show I do about the personal year cycles, because intentionality is absolutely everything. And if you can be mindful about it and lean forward in a way that is intentional, you can be of service for a month. And that's not your duty year, is going to be in your sixth personal year. It very much is an active duty, all right? So 2 personal years, your bogey and your target for this sprint run is 6. 3 personal years, your bogey and your target for April is 7. And this is the number of the mystic, and it requires time, a time away from people and things, and it needs to be able to feel deeply. Your bogey, your target 3s in April is to take that 7 energy, which is also the number of the lawyer. It's analytical, and yet it is highly mystical, meaning your belief systems often change in a 7, where the bumpers come off. This is how things are, and this is how I am, this is what I believe, and bumpers come off. Like the box changes with a 7 frequency that shows up in your life and says, let's talk, let's feel, let's find the place where we are consciously aware of ourselves as a spiritual being having a human experience. And how is that going, and how is this flowing in your life and your days and your relationships, and how is it presenting itself in your business? And then, so by default, naturally, it does fall into legal contracts and paperwork and helping other people with managing assets, money, stuff, and things. And they kind of go together, And so for the 3 personal year, you're in a 7 frequency. And the thing that ties these two together for you is dropping into the very core of who you are, authentically who you are right here. And then speaking that and having that bubble up over and over and over again, being authentically who you are. This is the bogey and the target of the 3. And then to speak it, it is so connected to the throat chakra. It's the joy of living. You couple that with the 7, which is the mystic. Yeah, and the mystic understands that collectively we are all one. Look at all the shamans out there in the world. 7 is the number of the shaman. What do the shamans talk about? Inclusivity. They talk about universal love. Well, that sits right here in the heart chakra, right? Yeah, your bogey and your target this month is to let this become a part of how you speak and what you're saying and why you're saying it. It requires a level of vulnerability. You get in there and feel it, and then let it pipe out into not only how you're thinking about things, but how you're actually speaking about things. I know. I used to do these shows where I would have predictive tools, and people really like that. Like, you can expect this, this, and this, and this to happen, and that at all costs, don't do this, 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 and this. And yet, the thing that bothered me about that is we have choice. We have free will. And it's our intentionality that we come into this predictive tool of numerology and then do something with it that way, right? Okay, so the shadow aspect at work for the 3 personal year with a 7 is that it can become highly acerbic and paranoid, not trusting. It's everything I'm going to say. It's the anti-shaman. I've never said that before, but it's something like that, where you fall into us and them mentality with people, and you're not trusting, and you become miserly, and you don't want to help. You don't want to go and have these deeper conversations. It doesn't feel safe. You're cut off from here. Yeah. So the 3-7 coupling, that could be a perfect storm for you if you're not careful, guys. All right. I would do simple things. I would fall into a practice, a study of mindfulness and meditation. It's what I do all the time anyways. I'm just checking on my time. So you guys, I just caught my hair and my glasses. Okay, so let yourself get your mystic on. All right, get your mystic on. Get your mystic on. Fall into your heart. Lean into magic synchronicities happening, because that happens in a 7 as well, where somehow the universe comes in and starts dancing and playing in your world, and you do start to have some magic that happens in your life. All right. So front load your intention around that. All right. This month I'm a mystic. For the 2s, this month I am in the service world, and I am of service to my community. This month for the 1s, I am I'm leaning into grand adventure. All right. And accepting it with curiosity. All right. And excitement and anticipation. All right. All right. Let's go to the 4s. Your bogey and target is 8. This is perfect for you guys. So this is all about getting out there, 4s, and working collaboratively with people of like mind. It is the money number. It is the success and prosperity number. It is the number of communal and individual success, abundance, recognition, reward. And that translates to up and out the door you go. You're going to want to say yes and seek out in this 4 months, which is your doppelganger, right? People who are right in there with your line of work. And you've probably been building on this all year long, and then the year before, I'm pretty sure, and the year before. But now this is, okay, let's take it out into the marketplace and let's do something with it, and let's collaborate with others. It is a very busy month that you are going into with your relationships. You're just going to want to babysit those a little bit, because you're going to be so focused on your career and your business and your work that clear communication is really going to be important. The people around you, you might be leaning into a little bit too much. I would verbalize that. It's going to slow down in a different way next month for you, because you're going into a 9 frequency. These things, they ebb and they flow like this, right? So make sure you're overly communicating. Make sure that you are proactively picking up the phone and scheduling meetings or trips or whatever it is that you're doing, right? That has everything to do with your work. Make sure you're proactively pursuing what's going on in your business. And then saying yes. Say yes, say yes, say yes to invitations. The key to this, because I'm going to tell you about the shadow aspect of the 8, is that it is collaboration. That's the key word, collaborative, communal success. And the shadow aspect of this is going into a mentality where there isn't enough for everyone, and you have to hold on to what is yours, because you don't know where more is going to come from. And so you end up, there's a level of um it's kind of interesting. I would say paranoia, but it's more about not trusting the people around you, that their intentions are of the highest order, right? That collaboratively you're coming together, and then you're missing the bigger picture. You get these blinders on, and it is selfishly focused just on you and what you've got, what you're going to get out of it. Um, and this is the number of the great philanthropist. Um, yeah. So, all right. So fours, your bogey and your target is 8. Now go for it. Fives, we're going to slow down things for you, and we're going to look, your bogey and your target is 9. April 9. That means that whatever needs to be cleaned up. 9 is the number of cleanup. Uh, and cleanup is just cleanup. It is the things that are being asked to be let go in our lives. And that looks like people, places, things, behaviors, situations, what's going on in your garage, or everything. What in your life has got to be released? Got to be released, because next month, you guys are going into a 5-month doppelganger for your 5 personal year, right? So you really want to look around. This is it, you guys. Look around. This is your bogey and your target. When I say this is it for all of you, it's not that the rest of your life isn't going on, because it's going on. It goes on. You have your business to run. You have your life to run. You have your relationships to tend and nurture. You have your children to love and nurture and help grow into incredible beings. All that stuff. You have self-care and blah, blah, blah. One bogey and one target, 5 pinners. What's got to be let go? All right? That looks like what? Always, it's going to be a relationship, probably, and it is going to be inside of a behavior or or something in your business that you've got to look at seriously and say, okay, that's broken. It's not working anymore. What are the steps that I need to take in order to allow that to go? Okay. Flip side of the 9 frequency is that you're terrified to let anything go. And that includes people, because you don't know what's on the other side. Yeah. The good news for everybody is that there's always something on the other side, and it's not going to be the sky falling. Just in our journeys, we've got to find the grace when we have a 9 frequency that we're dealing with and we're working with. That is the guest in our home every single day. And this is your guest for the next 30 days, guys. Okay. You got to look around. What do you want? What is being asked to let go? And you can do it in a very thought-filled, mindful way. Right. Okay. Hold on a second. Somebody just came in. Not the garage. I know. Denise is saying not the garage. That's going to take a few months. Denise, are you in a 5 personal year? Yeah. And 5s don't like to do, 5 personal year, you're just kind of antsy and you don't want to do stuff like this. But it's, if I'm just going to give you one thing to think about, right? Every single personal year, I'm just giving you one thing. All right, let's move on to the 6s. 6s, your bogey and target is 1. And that's for the month of April. Now, what that means for you, oh, thank God, you're going to be so happy. You get to front load your independence, your autonomy, your brilliance, your great ideas that are singly connected to you and your vision. That's what this month is for you. You get a breath, six pinners, because this is your service year, right? You get a breath of being able to do things that are solely focused on you. And so here's the rub, and here's the ticket. Land something new in your life. Bring something new in your life that says, okay, I've got the wind at my back to launch this. Here's the wind at my back to launch this. And it has to be something that is beautifully connected to you and what it is that you would like to have happen in your business, in your personal life. So bring it in and give it space to move. So when we have a one frequency, that we get excited because it's all about us. And that means that we have the opportunity to bring something into put it down on boots on the ground, down on the ground in our lives that is new. Note what I'm saying. Like, you could see these similarities with the numbers now. Like, oh, she was talking about that with the one personal year. Right. Yeah. And we'll get a flow going on this. So you will have the opportunity in April here to present your wares, to present your ideas, to bring it forward. And that means you got to talk. That means you've got to, be an advocate for yourself and advocate here and there and go for it. Usually for, building something new. What's your vision? What is it that you're really, really inspired by? This could be something that's sitting inside of this community year for you, right? It could have something to do with your community, but I promise you it's going to always have something as well to do with how you're making your money and what is going on in your business. Yeah? All right. So think of that's your bogey and your target, guys. This is a you-centric front-loaded moment. Where are you going to come in and drop that in? If you want it to be in relationship, sometimes that happens too with the one energy that's there. But I'm really, really just focused on you. And I'm focused on your new beginnings and your new thing. That's just about you. So, and I promise you it'll be supported and it will also stick. So have a think about that, all right? And have that be front loaded as you move through this year. I'm moving now to the sevens. I'm in a 7 right now. Your bogey and your target is 2. Okay, guys. So the art of diplomacy, connection, talking, being in a space where you can communicate back and forth one-to-one in a really super effective way. This is your bogey. This is your target. Right. The nudge here is bumps up against the 7 energy because the 7 is deep, deep in the weeds with the bumpers of understanding about why we're here and what we're doing, kind of like dissipating and getting a little opaque. All right. So your bogey and your target this month is going to front load diplomatic communication with the people around you. And that includes listening. When I would say, listen, try to listen more than you speak, and try to really pay attention to how things are going back and forth with, conversations that you're having at work or in your personal life or out there in the wild, right? Just really be present in these conversations. And then also a huge part of the 2 is boundaries, the need for boundaries. Because While you are highly empathic, this month is going to be highly empathic for you guys, highly intuitive, emotionally charged, deeply connected to your feeling center with other people. You also at some point are going to have to say, okay, I've had enough. That's about all I can give. And I'm going to step back and I'm going to self nurture and I'm going to self care. Front load this month is relationship and listening and speaking and learning how to become a master at communication. That includes two people. All right. 8, you guys are in the dynamic of 3. And the 8 personal year now has a challenge that to lean into for April, and that's 3. This number requires speaking from a place of authenticity. And that authenticity, I did an entire show on this, you guys, about, I think I've done so many recordings just about the numbers and what they represent and what they mean. You can dig around, you can find about 3. 3 is tough in its depth. In order for the voice box to be speaking authentic truth, it must, without apology, be piped into the very core and essence of the divinity aspect of you, your soul, the what makes you tick. And when you are piping from that place, guys, nothing but high, joyful energy is coming through the words that you're speaking to other people, right? So bogey and target is that. And what you also have with that is by default, living in that place inspires others to do the same. You know, when you walk into a room and somebody looks at you and is just literally delighted to see you because they are just so delighted to see you, and you know it and you feel it, and they wrap their arms around you and they say, hi, or they put out their arm to shake your hand because you're in a business situation or whatever. You can feel it, right? It's inspiring. You be the loudest energy in the room wherever you go. And you have an opportunity to bring your unique voice to the table. This is your bogey and your target for this month. All right, 9s. 9 personal years. Your bogey and your target is always going to be the same as the month that we're in. I know you guys have done this cycle so many times now in your lives. 9 personal years, you're already in this process of cleaning and clearing the decks, right? Okay. So 4 energy is about now it's time to get to work. Now it's time to build systems and structure, order. Bring that into your world that looks like what? Front loading, not skipping steps. Front loading, making sure that if you're at work, making sure that the base, steps that are building a stability point for, something to be held in place that it's going to make it long term, is that you've got the hardware and you've got the software, you've got the program managers, you've got everybody and all the pieces, and somebody's there making sure that not one person has skipped a necessary step, because that little link that's missing could cause problems way down the road. It's like, I don't know, missing a retaining wall in a house. At some point it's going to give, right? Or none of this. So nine pinners, what you guys have is you're going to want to work this month. You're going to want to just put your head down and get stability and structure across the board of your life. If it looks like a schedule, Put yourself on that schedule. Yeah. One of the biggest helpful things about 4 energy when it comes into our lives is it provides something as simple as, no, I can build a routine. I can make sure that I have 4 things that are lined up today. And those 4 things that I'm going to get done, I'm going to get them done. I'm going to spend 45 minutes on this. I'm going to spend an hour on this. I'm going to spend 20 minutes on this and something on that, right? And then by the time you get to your head's on the pillow, reviewing, like, I stuck to my routine. I got that done, and that feels good. And the next day you're going to get up and you're going to do it again. Right. So, if you've got kids, you guys, all the parents out there, check and see how the routine is going. And if things need to be switched up there. If you have, if some things need to happen in your house, in your environment, your car, make sure that everything is in working order. Cars are a big deal. It's ridiculous how many examples I've heard, not only with my clients over at One to Listen, but and local clients here. It's like people are having car problems. Could be the gas price problem. Yeah, that could be a part of it. But they're just having car problems. Just so if there are things that need to be addressed, address them. If there are things that need to be addressed in your home, address them. This, it is the example, we're in tax, in the United States, we're in our tax month. And so it's making sure that your money's in good order, and tightening up the ship in your physical body. Let's build a routines, structures, orders, systems. 9s, that's your bogey and your target this month. All right. So, okay, I have time for questions, you guys. I've been doing the personal year cycle shows for so long that I'm always trying to figure out, is there a more effective way to do it? And there's some way, there's got to be, I'm just going to continually do this. I do know that your intentionality is absolutely everything. And as we're sitting in this 4 energy, that's the catch that the whole entire world is moving through. What systems, structures, and orders are going to be created and built this month or solidified this month? What is the base that we are going to create? And this goes from macro to micro. So when you think about the 1 personal year, or the 2, or the 3, or the 4, moving through this terrain, and we individually have another bogey and another target that we are, that's getting front loaded. I know that we are in a 1, we're in a 10 global year. I know I'm in a 7 personal year. I know this is a 4 month. I know my bogey is a 2. Can you see the language of that? And so they're all moving at the same time, except this is me. This is my point of being. I am living a life inside of this, and my intentionality means literally everything. It's how things are going to happen. It's how things are going to come in. I know that if, the number combinations always for me play a big part in how I move through every day. And, collectively how I move through every month or a year. 7 personal year. I'm in a 4 month. I know what those two things mean, and my bogey is a 2, which means I better pay attention to minding how I am in communication with people. And I better pay attention to listening and finding the balance, the art of diplomacy. And I better pay attention to having healthy boundaries, right? Does that make sense? One personal year is the same thing, your one personal year, and this is a one global year, one personal year, you're in a 4 month, your bogey is 5. 2 personal year, 4 personal month, your bogey is a 6. Yeah, and so on and so on. It just naturally weaves into the very fabric and movement of our lives in the coolest of ways, that we can use it as a springboard for the events that are happening, opportunities that show up, how we're in, what's going on. And again, it's always boots on the ground with your work and your relationships, your career goals, what's going on here with your family, your community, being of service as they are loving and nurturing you and you're loving and nurturing them, right? So it's a nice way of looking at this. And you guys, I'll just keep on talking to you to help you along. And yeah, I think that might be the totality of my show today, you guys. I hope this has met you right where you're at. And don't forget about the group clearing session. That's a remote healing session. It's tonight at 5 o'clock, and the registration link is right here in the live chat. Or you can just go over to 12, the number 1, the number 2, the word academy.com. And register right there. It's also on my 1-2 Listen homepage. That is where I work as a full-time seer, psychic, and intuitive. So if you ever need a reading with me, you guys, you can always find me over there. All right. Good luck, you guys. Much love. And I'll probably throw a couple of videos up to kind of fluff this up a little bit more. But I hope it met you exactly where you're at and that you guys are ready for April. All right. All the loves, kids. I will talk to you soon. Bye.